Hello and welcome to another Aussievision video. I'm Z and today I'm joined by one of my lovely contributors, Fleur. Hello Fleur, how are you going today?
I'm going fine. How are you?
I'm good. We're so excited to do this video and discuss all things Serbia.
Awesome.
So we're talking about the jury and televote appeal of Serbia
Mhm.
this year, and they're represented by Luke Black with
Yep.
Samo Missy Spavi, or I Just Want to Sleep in English. And it's very appropriate that I'm joined by Fleur to discuss Serbia as she dressed up as Luke Black at the OGAE Australia preview party in Melbourne a few weeks ago.
I
You can
did.
check out her outfit and other photos from the Melbourne event on our Aussievision Facebook page. But Fleur, since you dressed up as him, I'm assuming you're a big fan of Luke Black and his performances.
Yeah. I first time I heard the song, a friend played it for me, and I'm like, yep, this is going to be my winner.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you looked fantastic in that costume. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
But what do the rest of the team think about Serbia's entry? So the Aussievision team rated each Eurovision entry this year out of 10 based on how much they thought the act would appeal to the jury and how much it would appeal to the public. So the score for Serbia with the public vote, according to the Aussievision team, is 6.75 out of 10, which is 15th place overall and 8th place in semi-final one. So Fleur, what do you think about this rating, and do you think Serbia will appeal much to the public this year?
Um, I th yeah, I think it would because I think he will take it to another level. It's a very dramatic song. My main concern is the running order in his case. It's quite early, being third, it following Malta, which is
Yes.
a very uplifting. Oh, it's about anxiety as well, but it's a bop. Pre-running order allocation, I was like, this is going to qualify. Now I'm not so sure. I think it might be a borderline qualifier for the televote.
Borderline qualifier.
Mm,
Yeah. Well, I was going to say the downside is performing third. Dale did an article crunching the numbers, and third is the second worst position to qualify
yeah.
from, sort of statistic wise. But I do think it will be okay in the telly though. I think there's a few factors working in its favor. The sort of intense, eclectic style of music. It has very strong elements of Hattori, who came sixth in the televote in the final in 2019. And I think that sort of intense, almost, and there's gaming elements in the whole sort of performance that will
Yeah.
appeal to the young people in droves. And we have to remember the Serbian diaspora as well.
It's
Croatia and
huge.
Switzerland are in semi-final one. So they'll have like sort of a strong baseline vote regardless, I think. And
Mm.
he has that sort of pretty boy look about him. I still can't believe he's 30. I thought he was literally 19. But he like looks so good. I think he'll appeal to the girls, the gays, the grannies, everyone. So I think that would be in his favor as well. So you think borderline qualify, is that right? Yeah.
I think so. I think with the third spot is what's sort of on my mind the most. He is a rather experienced artist though. Like he was like almost given the green light to go in 2016 when they picked
Oh,
Sanya.
really?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
He did have a song, it was called Demons.
Hmm.
This is look, he's grown as an artist now, and I would say this is the better of the two songs. I have heard it. Yeah, so I think he's got that experience, been an established artist that yeah, could get him through.
Yeah, and we have to remember, Serbia with Constructor was third in their semi-final last year. I mean, obviously different song, but
Yeah.
third is not the be all and end all. And now Serbia is quite used to performing third in the semi-finals, so
Mhm.
hopefully they'll be okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the jury appeal of Serbia and see how the Aussievision team has rated the entry. So the Aussievision team has rated Serbia 5.5 out of 10 for
Ooh,
jury appeal, which is
wow.
28th place overall out of 37 entries. So, Fleur, what do you think of this score, and how do you think Serbia will do with the juries this year if it reaches the final?
Yeah. Look, I think on first listen, if you're going with it's going to sound like a very basic song.
Hmm.
But if you listen to it over and over and over, like I have, I know it's not a basic song.
Yeah.
But look, we're going for the first time viewer, and they're just going to, yeah, find it really simple.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I kind of agree with that in a
You
way.
agree with that? Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Yeah, I think Serbia overall doesn't do so well with the jury. I also think like the juries don't seem to quite get sort of those artsy sort of
Yeah.
performances. Because his fans are calling this a surrealist masterpiece, and they always seem to like rank them down. So, like for perspective, his Countrywoman Constructor last year was fourth in the televote in the final, but only 11th with the jury in the final. So,
Mm.
I do think that sort of factor will come in again. But I guess maybe a slight positive is the fact in the Serbian national final he came second with the jury. So
Yes.
maybe juries will get it, hopefully.
Yeah.
So where do you think if it reaches the final, where do you think in the jury vote it
In
will
the
come?
jury
Like,
vote.
yeah,
The jury vote. Yeah, I think mid-range.
mid-range?
I
Yeah,
think mid-range. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think the same. I think maybe lower mid-table sort of thing. Not
Yeah.
exceptionally high. But yeah, hopefully maybe the juries will appreciate that sort of surrealist masterpiece
Yeah.
a
And
little bit.
that's how I would describe it too. It's a surreal masterpiece. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So based off all that discussion, Fleur, do you think Serbia will qualify for the final, and how will it go in the final overall, do you think?
Look, he does have a point of difference with the song. Nothing sounds like it, so I think he's got that going for him. And if you really like that sort of music, which I do, because it's got the hearty vibes. But he's probably not as let's say out there as Hearty was. You know, they were like you could not forget them. Luke Black, he kind of like from that national final needs to step it up. I mean, it
Yeah.
was fine, but it needs to go that extra level. If he can do that, definitely it's qualifying.
Mm. Yeah, and yeah, if he reaches the final, do you think he'll sort of, where do you think he'll end up on the scoreboard, do you think?
I think it's going to have to be very visual.
Hmm.
It could go. I'm thinking maybe like top 10, but towards the end, like maybe ninth to about 13th, I'd put him.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's a winner,
Mhm.
sadly. For me it is, but
Yeah.
when I do think of the Euro fans and people watching the casual viewers, I think
Mm.
it's going to be more for casual viewer type vote for the grand final, I think, because I think the fandom probably prefer other songs.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, but the fandom isn't, all viewers. I think the majority of viewers are actually non-fandom people,
that's right.
just, people
Exactly.
that are just tuning into the telly on Saturday night.
Yeah.
So if you can appeal to them, it will do well. I mean, we remember Conchita in 2014 just came out of nowhere and really
Oh
took
yeah.
over. So maybe he might do something similar.
Oh,
Um,
that'd be nice.
Yeah, we'll see. Just quickly, some of my just thoughts, but I agree with you mainly. I do think, despite the poor running order and the competitive semi-final, because I think you'd agree semi-final one is probably the more competitive of the two.
Yeah.
I do think he'll get to the final still, because I think
Yeah.
the 100% televoting does help
It's good.
Serbia,
Yeah.
just historically and in general, his
Yeah.
song as well. I think if he gets to the final, interestingly fun statistic, Serbia's always come in the top 10 in the televote in the
Yeah.
final for the past 2 years. So
Wow.
I think with that base, he'll be good with the televote. I do think the juries will weigh him down a little bit.
Mm.
The bookies are sort of predicting he'll finish sort of that mid-table range.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
sort of agree with that. I
Yeah.
think if his
Same.
televote is very good, he can be pushed into the top 10, hopefully, and we
Yeah.
can see how he goes from there. That's pretty much what you think as well, yeah?
Exactly what I think. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think depending which half he gets, I think he's going to have a
Mm,
better shot in the
yes.
second half than the first half.
Yeah, I think second half is the sort of the place where you want to be because wherever you are in that second half, it's good. But then if you're in the first half, you're really hoping you're like 10th, 11th, 12th sort of
Mm.
thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm. So that wraps up our public and jury ratings appeal of Serbia. Let us know if you agree with Fleur, myself, and the rest of the Aussievision team in the comments. Fleur, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And same to the rest of you watching, thank you, and we'll see you next time. See ya.
Bye.